Hello everyone, a very warm welcome to all of you. This is Achal Kumar Pandey and I welcome to all of you in my YouTube channel. In this video, we will be discussing about the issues of J&K, the causes of conflicts of 1947 and even events after that also. However, in this particular video, part 1, we will be discussing about the entire details of J&K before abrogations and bifurcations of J&K into two different union territories. So this one is the part 1 and very soon I will be covering part 2 also. So you can see here, this is the map of the J&K which was before the abrogations of Article 370 and bifurcations of J&K, and Central Government of India has published a new map of J&K also on 2nd of November 2019, but this map will help you to understand the entire details of the J&K. So you can make a good notes also. I have put in various details of the J&K. So this map will help you to make a good notes. So this presentation has been designed in such a way which will help you to answer better in any kinds of competitive exams. So I will show you the latest map also, but remember this map is the very important map. You can see here the different territory is there, and this one is the latest map of the J&K which has been issued by the Central Government of India. So this problem is also known as the Kashmir problem or J&K issue. So with the help of the various slides we will be discussing. So coming to the brief history. So the around the 2300 years back, the Kashmir region was the part of the Mauryan Empire, and later on it came under the Kushan, and they made it into a big center of learning for the Buddhism. Buddhism prevailed into this period, and Kanishk, who was the Kushan leader, called the 4th Buddhist Council. Remember, this is very important in Kashmir. After the demise of Kushan, the area came into the various Hindu dynasty. Martand Sun temple, one of the important Hindu temple, was made by the Karkota dynasty. Around 13th century, the area of Kashmir came into the Islamic influence, and most of the populations and even king also converted into the Islam. So the Sultanate of the Kashmir was established and it continued to the 16th century. Now it came into the Mughals empire in 1586, but by the time 1751 came, the Mughals were very weak, so the kingdom came under the Afghan, and Afghan defeated Mughals and captured the Kashmir under the Durrani Empire. Later on, the Sikh Empire under the Maharaja Ranjit Singh defeated Afghan and captured the Kashmir in 1819. So it came under the Sikh rules. After few years only, the British defeated the Sikh in Anglo-Sikh War of 1845. After the death of the Ranjit Singh, during the Anglo-Sikh War, the British were supported by the Dogras. So Dogra ruler Maharaja Gulab Singh was rewarded the Kashmir by the British. Thus the Kashmir came under the Dogra rules and installed the Dogra rules in 1846, and they ruled the Kashmir for almost all 100 years. You can see here, this was the kingdom of the Kashmir, and the Kashmir was having the personal flag. Now here I have mentioned a few timelines. You can see here right from 1947 to even 2021 also. So in 1914 the instrument of accession was signed, then the Constitution of India was enacted Constitution of India in 1949 Article 370 was included in Constitution of India. Then in 1950 the Constitution of India came into force. In 1954 the first presidential order was released, and Article 35 alpha was included in Constitution of J&K. Then in 1956 the J&K Constitution came into force. So these are quite a few various issues, and with the next coming subsequent slides we will be discussing about the another timeline, and after that we will be discussing each and every issue in details also. In 1990 the Armed Forces Special Power Act was enacted in J&K, and after that in 1990 the militancy was at peak. So because of the effective implementations of this AFSPA, it was reduced up to some extent, but various disastrous attack was also happened, like the Uri attack and Pulwama attack and many others also. And remember, in 2015 BJP PDP coalition government was formed in J&K, and after that in 2018 the president's rule was declared in J&K because the coalition was broken in J&K. Then finally in 2019 BJP won the parliamentary elections, and in their election manifesto they talked very clearly about the scrapping of Article 35 and Alpha and Article 370. So these are the quite a few timelines. Now we are going to discuss in detail about the each and every issue and causes of conflicts and all the details of the J&K. And in part 2 we will be discussing about the abrogations of Article 370, then the bifurcations of Jammu and Kashmir into two union territories, and how the bifurcation was done, how the abrogation was done. We will be discussing each and everything in part 2. So you can see here these are the entire timelines. You can understand and you can make good notes by watching these timelines. I have made here very clearly right from 1947 to till today. So how many different activities have been done and what changes have been occurred because of these different activities. So after that we will be discussing the particular things in details with the help of the different slides. So when the partition happened in 1947, Maharaja Hari Singh, one of the descendant of the Dogra, he was the king of the J&K. He wanted to stay neutral because he did not want to join either India or Pakistan. During the same period, there was one of the important political party, Sheikh Abdullah. He was one of the founder of the National Conference, and the name of this party was the Muslim Conference earlier. He wanted monarchy, but he wanted just king as a constitutional head. Then the Muhammad Ali Jinnah was another political leader. He argued according to the two nations theory, the basis for the partitions, and the state of Kashmir with the 77% Muslim majority princely state should join Pakistan. While this POX was going on, there was rebellion in the Poonch area against the state police and even army also, which led to the communal violence in Jammu and Kashmir against the Muslim. Then Pakistan supported the tribal Pashtun fighters from northwest frontier of Pakistan and invaded the valley of the Kashmir on 22nd October 1947. Remember, this date is very important. The reason they gave was they were coming to support the Muslims, but later it led to the violence. Maharaja Hari Singh asked the Indian government for help and asked to accede in the lieu of the military help, but central government of India headed by Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, he asked to sign the instrument of the accession. Then the instrument of accession was signed on 26th of October 1947. Then right from that day J&K became the integral part of our country, and but however the Pakistan rejected this instrument, saying that it was signed under the duress. Duress means pressure by an unpopular ruler, because Maharaja Hari Singh was not popular, so we will not consider this instrument of accession. And this statement was even recommended by Muhammad Ali Jinnah also, because the will of the people was not ascertained. You can see here this photograph is the very famous photograph. You can see here Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, Muhammad Ali Jinnah, Sheikh Abdullah, various leaders were there. The accession was regarded as provisional until the such time as the will of the people can be ascertained. It may be any form, plebiscite, voting, or whatever may be. Sheikh Abdullah endorsed the accessions and he was appointed the head of the J&K. Now India deployed its military to repel the attack, and thus the first India-Pakistan or Kashmir war began. Heavy fighting occurred at the very high altitude. India airlifted the troops because there was heavy snowfall, so no war could happen. So the army pushed back the attackers to the northern areas, and a provisional Azad Kashmir government formed in the western area supported by the Pakistan. However, India managed to push back the attackers, but they had occupied few territory of our country. We will see in the next slide, and that territory is essentially known as the POK, which comprises two different parts, Gilgit-Baltistan and Azad Kashmir. Then India went to the United Nations in January 1948 to resolve the Kashmir conflict. United Nations Commission for India and Pakistan was constituted and a Security Council resolution was adopted. I will show you in the next slide. There were few points in the resolutions, and they were the consequential non-binding resolutions. I will discuss in details what were those. So the three consequential non-binding steps were: Pakistan should withdraw all the nationals and irregular from Kashmir. Then India should withdraw its army and keep only the minimum forces in the region to maintain the law and order. Then a plebiscite will be ascertained to just consider the will of the people, but it was non-consequential, means if only one is applied with, then the second and third will be followed. But neither Pakistan withdrew the nationals and irregulars from the Kashmir, nor India withdrew the volume of the forces. Then the plebiscite was not conducted. Then Pakistan did not withdraw the forces and the settlement continues. So the ceasefire line of 1948 became the line of control, the de facto border between India and Pakistan. However, the line of control, the name was given in the Simla Agreement, which took place in 1972. You can see here the red line between the green and the yellow territory. That green territory is under the Pakistan custody, that is known as the Pakistan occupied Kashmir, and this yellow territory, this is under the India's control, and this red line, that is known as the LOC, which has become the de facto border between India and Pakistan. You can see here there is another territory also which is known as the Aksai Chin. I will discuss with you later. You can see here other than this issue between India and Pakistan, there is demographic issue also. If you talk about the territory of J&K, which comes under the India. Now China has occupied Aksai Chin since 1962, and the Trans-Karakoram tract, the light red color territory, and ceded to the Pakistan in 1963. Then the Sheikh Abdullah was made the PM of Kashmir. 1953, Sheikh Abdullah removed from the post of the PM and jailed for next 11 years. However, Sheikh Abdullah released, and he talked with the Nehru, and he started to resume the talk, but because of the death of the Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, then Prime Minister of India, the talk was disrupted in 1964. Again in 1974, Indira Sheikh Accord was signed. Again he was jailed for few years. Now coming to the militancy in J&K, so in 1987 assembly election were illegally rigged to bring the National Conference and Indian National Congress combined to power, but there was some irregular practice, so there was a protest against the rigged election, which led to the strikes, protest and the violence. Jammu Kashmir Liberation Front, Hizbul Mujahideen, started a separatist insurgency by feigning the protest and linking them to the cause of independence of Kashmir. Many young Kashmiris were sent to cross the LOC and trained by the militia and terrorist camp in the Pakistan. On 1st of January 1990, Kashmiri Pandit faced large scale violence and ethnic cleansing from extremists, and they were threatened and forced to leave the valley. So more than 2.5 lakh Kashmiri Pandit, they left the valley over the night, and there was lot of atrocities against the Kashmiri Pandits, though they were minorities, but they were holding very good position in J&K, but because of the atrocity against the Kashmiri Pandit, they left the valley. This was another issue. Then the militancy and the violence led to the government of India applying the Armed Forces Special Power Act in 1990. Throughout the 1990s and even in early 2000 also, heavy infiltration of the terrorist and attack occurred. And 2004, right from 2004, the militancy subsided to an extent, but still present. If you compare the present scenario, still present, but quite a few very disastrous attack has also been took place in J&K, like the Uri attack or Pulwama attack. Even after that, Central Government of India conducted surgical strike followed by the air strike to eradicate the roots of the militancy in J&K, but still various operations are going on, and government is making its strong efforts to reduce the militancy as soon as possible and eradicates the roots of the militancy from J&K. But still government requires to do lot of things for eradicating the roots of the militancy. So we have discussed about the various issues of J&K. One more thing I would like to discuss here, even Sadbhavana mission has also been launched to win the heart and soul of the people of the J&K. So these are all about the J&K issue and the conflicts. So in the part 2 we will be discussing about the abrogations of Article 370, which has played major role in the history of the J&K, and J&K has been bifurcated into two different union territories, that is the Jammu and Kashmir and the Ladakh. So very soon I will be covering part 2 also. तब तक के लिए थैंक यू. स्वस्थ रहे, मस्त रहे, व्यस्त रहे. जय हिंद.